It's quarterfinals time in the All-Star 1v1 battle for North America. Jensen versus High. Not only is Jensen the mid laner that replaced High on Cloud9 so many years ago, but also former teammates. High was Jensen's jungler and support for a short time. One thing that High did ban this game was Amumu, one of, I think, his famous junglers. Famously missed an ult flash on Amumu. It'd be hard to do, but he definitely did it, and that one happened. But regardless, we've got High on Tristana, and Jensen is on Akali, going for a more defensive option, by the way. You're seeing the arm guard start, not a alternator for more poke, because that would have been alternator damage right there. But instead going for the bonus armor to stack that up over time. Not too hard for a Trist to early push. Noon Quiver is very good at that. It's so much damage on hit. It's an incredibly efficient item. You're not even paying for the on-hit to minions passive. It's just very, very, very good. 5 CS to 2. Could be 5 for the Akali, based on how well this goes. You can see High is mostly saving cooldowns. Once again, also going press the attack, which, again, I actually really, really like Halo Blades on Trist. Certainly, in a lot of these fights, you can pretty easily get the 3 attacks off. But considering that Akali wants to jump into the Shroud, getting like 2 autos off before she stealths can be really, really valuable. There's something to be said about Halo Blades being good on Trist, but not required either way. Certainly for all-ins, it's a pretty tight consideration. Getting 1-2 extra autos because of Halo Blades versus getting the press the attack damage, it can be pretty close. Cannon going to go down, and one of the difficult things for the Akali is, as these minions get cleared, they explode, they do about 100 damage, and it can make it really tough. So High just getting a lot of really, really good pressure. And this is kind of the problem with Jensen going for the more defensive option of going arm guard is realistically, he, can't really threaten High. There's just not enough damage there. And maybe it wouldn't have changed even with Alternator, but it's still somewhat of a consideration. Nicely done right there. Walks in and catches the health relic stuff. That's really nice. Jumps in. It forces the early barrier. And I believe barrier did, in fact, block some of the explosive charge damage. You can see Jensen nearly died to that one. And that is, hey, what you're paying for with the arm guard is, the extra armor got there was a pretty big deal. Jensen can't take any more farm. High can easily shove this wave in and then take the recall. Hits the cannon. 2, 3, and 4, explodes it, gets some of the minions down, and that's going to be really good CS for High. I mean, he's up a plate and he's up 16 CS, so High is going to have a much nicer recall, many more items to be grabbed right here. There is a lot of ambient gold, but minions are worth just more gold overall as well. So Jensen picks up the alternator. Oh no, he's too close to the Nexus. He couldn't actually E backwards. High gets the regen and grabs a Hex Drinker. And I mean, for what it's worth, like those are actually relatively equal power level items. And I think, again, Alternator is very, very, very good. If you haven't been watching preseason, it is the new component item that is basically Cure Chai's Shard or Sheen, but for spells. It is on a moderate cooldown, or it replaces the old Hextech Revolver, but instead of working on autos only, it works on spells as well. Costs the same amount of gold, same amount of damage, just easier to apply. So you can just call a key for max range, and that'll do like 80 bonus damage based on level. So really good stuff there. High can pretty easily finish up Kraken Slayer before we hit sudden death. You cannot go shield bow with a Hex Drinker. They share the unique passive of, I forget what the shield is actually called, but you can't get both. You can't get Lifeline on 2 different items. So, normally I think you really want to consider going for shield bow. But this is now a nice all-in. Good buzzer shot back, and High nearly has the damage if he can only auto one more time. But of course, Ignite was down. High rocket jumped for some wave clear, but Jensen went for the big play, burned his Ignite, put in a lot of damage, and could not win. High is still on the board. Hex Drinker is a really big deal. Jensen has to wait around for a second turret plate to drop, and this turret's already at half health. High, oh no! No, he got barrier back! High, be careful! Oh, he gets him anyway. Jensen could not stealth in time as he was flying across the map. High just hit him once with the cannon, and High is getting revenge from all these years ago. Saying who's the better 1v1 laner now, buddy? This is great. High is popping off right now. Got first blood. You can see now Jensen's go for a Ruby Crystal. Plate number 3 going to be taken. And I mean, High is close to winning just on turret kills. I mean, this thing is getting really, really, really low. He might actually get it in time. It's going to be kind of close, but 2, 3 more autos, and that's going to be High just completely clapping Jensen in the 1v1. He took flash on Tristana.
Welcome, everybody, fans at home of the All-Star 2020 event. We are back once again here for the Snowdown Showdown. I got the words right that time even. And the Red Bull 1v1 tournament. We have officially hit the quarterfinals. We are still in best of 1 up until the semifinals, but otherwise all the rules are the same. Now, this is going to feature spoilers from the round of 16, so for some reason you're watching this before that, stop it. What are you doing? Go back, watch the previous games, and then we'll see you back here for these ones. Because CoreJJ was the only player that I saw. Now, keep in mind, I'm only covering half of these, so there might have been some crazy magic happening in the half of them that Freak is covering. CoreJJ was the only player I saw in the round of 16 who got a victory by killing the turret. He killed Chase Shaco once, and then was able to just kill the turret there for the win. But this time around, he will not be on a marksman pick. No, sir. This time around, it's CoreJJ on the Pyke going up against your Princess on the Kalista. Now, both of these players had a very decisive victory in their round of 16 bout. So let's see how they look here in this one. In her round of 16, your Princess played against Nikki Taylor, and it was a Lucian mirror matchup, and your Princess just commanded that one from start to finish as well. Clearly had more experience on the champion and was just better prepared for that mirror matchup. But this time around, let's see how she does against the CoreJJ Pyke. Now, anybody who's ever played against Kalista in a 1v1 scenario, yes, I'm talking to you, my top lane friends, you know what a nightmare this champion is. The way that her passive works with the martial cadence makes it almost impossible for a lot of melee champions to really get things done against Kalista. The champion is hyper-mobile, constantly has bursty threats if she knows how to properly use her Rend together with throwing the spears through minions and then getting them attached into an enemy champion with the pierce and carrying the damage through. It's a very powerful champion in a 1v1 situation against a melee opponent. But if there's one person that I would bet on being able to navigate this one and come out on top, it would be CoreJJ. Considering his experience in pretty much every role in the game and his general mastery in League of Legends as a whole, I'm excited to see where this one goes. Now, one thing to remember about Kalista is although she is a highly oppressive threat in 1v1, she has two abilities in 1v1. The little spooky ghost buddy that looks around corners for you, not that useful compared to putting more points in your combat ability. Your ult, literally useless. You can't throw someone as a bowling ball if you don't have someone to throw. So the Kalista isn't going to have the same power spikes around level 6 or like moving forward that CoreJJ will, having multiple abilities that he's actually going to be using. So CoreJJ now with the ulti ready to go. You can see in the top right, if for some reason you don't believe me, your Princess, no ult learned. There would be no point in doing it. It would be a wasted skill point. Both of these players are using Hail of Blades. Both of them have Flash as well. A lot of times in 1v1s, you see Flash forsaken for a more combat-prone ability. But this time around, both are seeing it as a lot of value. CoreJJ recognizing that you need the Flash as a melee champion to properly deal with Kalista. Kalista recognizing that not having a Flash in a matchup like this when your opponent does is going to put you in a bad spot. Now CoreJJ goes forward with the Bone Skewer to find some damage, but just look at what is returned. Kalista, so difficult to deal with. But now, observe that too. CoreJJ making use of the regeneration there on the Pyke. Not all trades are as they seem against a champion like Pyke. And for CoreJJ, he will be able to recover a good chunk of that life as he moves through here. Also, note the inventories. Vamp Scepter and Doran's Blade for your Princess. CoreJJ going for the immediate serrated Dirk as opposed to something that might give him more laning power early with like Doran stacking or anything like that. Just recognizing, hey, the win condition here, kill Kalista. Serrated Dirk is going to build into a lethality item. That's how we get that done. So CoreJJ is falling behind in farm, as you would expect anybody not named Kalista to do against Kalista. So we'll see if he's able to hit that spike that he needs. In his previous 1v1 against Chase Shaco, he was able to start off with the Noon Quiver, go back and buy the Shield Bow on first purchase. Might be a little bit more difficult than that here this time around. But he's doing as good as he can farming up these minion waves here. Turret getting a couple of shots. There you go. Remember that plates and minions and, well, plates are the same. You can see 160 gold there for your Princess and killing that first plate. But minions are worth more gold in this mode. A little bit more there for the ranged minions. The cannons are worth a ton. The cannons are worth like 200 gold in 1v1 Howling Abyss. So very, very important for either player to make sure they're last hitting those. Those things are just way too valuable to be given away for free. CoreJJ goes for the flash with the skewer, but he will not find it. That is a huge summoner spell commitment, and CoreJJ with the miss. He wanted to play around the health pack, knowing that your Princess would want to contest for that. He goes in, he goes for the Chad play, but it does not work out. Good moves there from your Princess, being able to dodge away from that one. Now she'll stick around in lane long enough to look for a second turret plate, grab a bit more gold before she returns to the shop, and there you go, another 160 in pocket for her. Continuing to just maintain this lane pressure now, but keep in mind, CoreJJ has the Eclipse finish, also sitting on the cloth armor. CoreJJ is at a much higher power spike than your Princess is, still only sitting on those starter items. Once she goes back and shops, yeah, she's going to have a ton of money to spend. She'll be able to really bolster how much power she's got in that inventory. 243 gold there, picked up by CoreJJ. Going for the skewer here yet again. Hits it that time. Hail of Blades getting in some work. There's your Ignite. CoreJJ needs a little bit more. X marks the spot. First blood, CoreJJ. Barrier and Flash don't matter. There goes the splatter. And CoreJJ is just going to find all sorts of success in that kill. And now, sudden death spawning in 30 seconds. This is actually a little bit problematic because CoreJJ doesn't have his ulti ready for this. Let's see how CoreJJ navigates this. I'm very interested to see. Let's take a look at the items in inventory. Immortal Shield Bow, done for your Princess, also with the Berserker's Greaves. Remember, attack speed, very important for Kalista, also makes her jump faster. Plated Greaves plus Warden's Mail for CoreJJ. Now, one thing that we've got to keep in mind here is remember that Pyke executes you regardless of shield status. So if your Princess enters execute threshold and then Shield Bow procs, Shield Bow will not save her from X marks the spot if Core is able to buy enough time to get the ulti back. I believe that's what we're waiting to see CoreJJ go for here. Also the turret. Look at how quickly the turret is dropping. CoreJJ recognizing this thing is down to an incredibly low amount of HP. You've got to be able to play around this, CoreJJ. Let's see if your Princess is willing to try to flex, move up here, put a couple of pot shots into it. It doesn't look like it, paying a lot of respect towards Core. I don't know if she knows the ulti timer on that Pyke. There come the auto attack. Your Princess is just going for it. The turret's gonna fall, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen, your Princess with the turret kill win to eliminate CoreJJ and proceed on to the semifinals.
Well, the snow is down, the show is down, but the stakes are up as Professor Akali is taking on Pants R Dragon. It's so nice of people to let, you know, one-tricks and mains play their main champion. It's always kind of nice to see right here. Pants R Dragon, though, just an overall 1000 LP challenger jungler, has a big champion pool, and Fiddlesticks is so incredibly strong right now that that's going to be the pickup, and going to do his very best to just kind of clap this one. We got an MR stack for both sides, and really aggressive trading here as well. Professor Akali getting good damage in the Pants, but as long as you don't have full energy anymore, that guy is going to start getting his stats back. He's going to start healing back up off the waves, and yeah, we're going to have that nice little, you know, the magic resist version of Arm Guard. I don't remember the name top of my head, sorry about that one, but you stack MR over time, and as you take damage, it stacks up faster, and Pants, yeah, as long as you can play Fiddlesticks fearlessly, you're going to push your opponents off. You'll sustain all the way back up. But Pants, yeah, gonna have to barrier. Needs the W back in. It's gonna be too much damage. That was well timed. Professor Akali in between the W's, lets the barrier go down, waits it out, and goes back in, finds the big chunk. Absolutely beautiful play there from Professor Akali. So far, so good. Has been clapping the 1v1s off of getting kills. Nice 260 gold earned there from the wave plus the cannon at the end, and well, that is obviously going to be a pretty big power spike as we'll see what comes through. Alternator, stopwatch, who knows? Wouldn't mind seeing a stopwatch before too long. No, goes Leeching Leer, okay. So going for as much heavy healing as possible to kind of match up with what Pants is able to do. Makes sense. Of course, you do really want to Ignite in the matchup, so yes, he has that. Has Flash to get away from really scary things like Crowstorm. I think that actually makes sense. One of the few matchups where I would actually want Flash on purpose and not just like a barrier or something. I mean, Cleanse could be doable for sort of similar reasons. You can, you know, sure, it can flip outwards, or out afterwards, but yeah, Leeching Leer, incredibly strong item. One we should probably see more mages picking up overall. Nice little bit of damage going back and forth there. Gets the full channel through on the W, and just to back off from some of Akali's damage, but careful, of course. Rank 1 ulti now available for the Akali, and that is a missed cannon. So Pants R Dragon losing out in some gold. Does have good farm. Obviously, you can see that's going to be 20 CS to 14, but Akali, of course, has more to farm and actually has theoretically more CS available. Here comes Crowstorm, but a minion walked into the brush! Superhero minion walked into the brush and found out that that is indeed a Crowstorm being channeled. Get out of there! And that is an easy sidestep. Now, Crowstorm will come back in time for another fight before sudden death, and then I think even another one beyond that. If you're getting full XP, you can get to level 11 before sudden death comes through, so can kind of use that as a tracker for how close we are to that. But for now, Akali just trying to deny some of the minions, let the blue minions die to the wave, and prevent Pans from getting any more gold and XP. He's in XP range. Flashes. Not sure about that one. Really not sure about that one. But it's a bait all the same. Goes back in for the fight. Ignite is on. Barrier popped. Waits it out. And is he dead to the ultimate? Yes, he is. The second time in a row. Professor Akali 2-0's his opponent.
Hello, everyone at home tuning in here to All-Star 2020 in the Red Bull 1v1 tournament. My name is Captain Flowers, welcoming you all back. We are in our quarterfinal stage, and we got Licorice and Dark Wings squaring off here in an Akali mirror matchup. Not just Akali mirror matchup, my friends. Oh, no. It's KDA Akali 1 versus KDA Akali 2. That's right. On the left, you have Licorice rocking the first KDA Akali in the Prestige clothing. And then over on the right, you got Dark Wings as the new KDA Akali, releasing the second album, coming in here looking to turn things up a notch. Now, I'm sure most of y'all out there recognize Licorice, but for those who may not know Dark Wings, as they're getting into the fight a little bit back and forth here, he's the one who won the Red Bull Solo Queue Invitational, where players from all over the US and Canada were able to compete for a spot here at All-Stars. He was the ultimate 1v1 star between the countries of United States and Canada. There were two separate tournaments, and the winners from both played against each other. He was your ultimate winner, so now he gets the chance to play in this against the likes of Licorice. He already took down Broxa in the first round, so let's see what this kid can keep on doing. Right now, he does have the lead in terms of farm and health. Potions look to be about even. Looking at the starting items for both players, a little bit different here. 2 Dorian's Rings and an Amplifying Tome for Licorice versus Dorian's Blade, Dorian's Ring, and Ruby Crystal for Dark Wings. We'll see where both players decide to go with that itemization here, but Dark Wings continues to maintain solid control over the lane and the wave. You can see 17-6 is your farm count. However, there are 6 extra minions on the table right now for Licorice to pick up. That still means that even with perfect farm, Dark Wings is just about a full wave ahead of his opponent. So really nice early stuff coming out from him in that early trade and the follow-up laning. Now he gets a chance to back away, go back to base. He gets all the way out of the frontmost brush, making sure that his recall cannot be interrupted by his opponent. Licorice just keeps on farming up underneath the turret here, getting as many of those as he can. There you go. And Dark Wings back in the base. I don't remember the name of that thing. It's been like a month, so I've got most of the completed item names down, but when we're talking about the new items and like the level 2 items that are literally just parts for other stuff, still don't know those yet. So Dark Wings picking up a purple stick as Licorice has to head back to base. Now he'll get his shop on. Have a little bit less money to work with here, as he does have 22 compared to the 24, 25 that his opponent did. Longsword purchased, Null Magic Mantle purchased. Could Licorice be going for a Hex Drinker here? That'd be interesting. Not quite sure where he's going to go, though. So just heading back out onto the Rift now. Just no tier 2 item in his inventory. Licorice his full garage sale. He got an old cape, high school yearbook, 2 rings, butter knife, and a bottle of drink. Not exactly what you would want going into 1v1 combat with a skilled opponent, but hey, sometimes you just don't got the money to buy the big fancy weapons. Instead, we're going to see these guys trade back and forth a little bit here. Licorice landing the E, going right back into the fight, but now Dark Wings, he's ready to go. Throws out his own shuriken, but will not find a mark on anything except a minion. Both health packs will be picked up now. All summoner spells ready to go. Something to also keep in mind here. Look at the keystones. Licorice with the fleet footwork, trying to make sure that that health bar stays topped off, while Dark Wings does have Electrocute to allow him more aggressive and bursty trades, provided he's able to hit all 3 hits. Also want to look at the barriers and ignites for both players. All in types of summoner spells. You'll love to see them. Lane's going to stay a little bit frozen right now. You can see Dark Wings was thinking about getting a back, but since the lane did not crash into the enemy turret, he'll stay in lane instead. Has that first turret plate nearly gone from his opponent here. Remember that in this mode, all turret plates are not created equal. The first couple are really, really easy to take down because they just occupy a smaller percentage of the turret's health bar. So Dark Wings deciding now to get himself back. Let's go ahead and see what he wants to return with. Real flashy back animation. You love to see it. Hex Drinker completed there for Dark Wings. I do know that item. I do know that one. So we've got 2 different purple things, one of which I'm aware of. I like the Hex Drinker purchase because it means that you're going to have extra resistance against just being blown up. That's what Akali does, especially post-6. She's able to jump in, find the perfect execution, find so much of the damage. You can see Hex Drinker now completed for Licorice as well, who goes for the Caulfield's Warhammer too. Now, Caulfield's Warhammer is a little bit different, but generally what I'm expecting this to mean is he's just going full Mauve Malmortius. He's not going to go for Hex Drinker and then stop off into other items that are more useful to Akali in general, like what you're seeing Darkwings do. Instead, Licorice is saying, okay, this is the item. I would rather just have one fully upgraded item than the parts to a couple, and that's what he's going to go for. Mauve Malmortius will be the purchase here for Licorice. On the other side of things, Darkwings, ooh, losing out on the trade a little bit there. Throws out the 5-point strike, but doesn't find the target. Now he's going to be going in anyway. Licorice looking to dash around, able to find a little bit here with a perfect execution. Darkwings throwing down another. Energy low for both Akalis. Licorice still having R2 ready to cast. Darkwings putting some distance between himself and his opponent there with the Shuriken. One summoner spell expended for both. However, the summoner spells were not mirrored. Ignite still available for Licorice. Barrier for Darkwings. Darkwings at half HP. Tries to throw out some quick snappy burst there against Licorice. Hex Drinker shields now down for both Akalis as well. Licorice's was used earlier. Darkwings loses his just now. So that means Licorice may want to wait for the Hex Drinker cooldown to come back up and then try to play around that. Could be a possibility, an opportunity. Darkwings forced to use the barrier as Licorice uses the Ignite and just, oh, what's that got to be, 30 HP away from getting a kill there. Licorice will not find the solo kill, and as both players find their way back to base with summoner spells not yet ready, sudden death is about to begin. Darkwings will take the opportunity to go for a purchase and find his Rift Maker. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a look behind the curtain here into production. I was waiting for him to build that purple thing into an item so I could look up the item that he built since I would know its name, and then go back and find out what the purple thing is named. Leeching Leer. Oh, yes. It's got the same naming type thing as Lilia abilities. It's got to have the alliteration there at the front. So it's Rift Maker and Hex Drinker versus Mauve Malmortius, but Licorice upgrading into Maw. Licorice has his cooldown ready. Still a little bit further on Darkwings. Ooh, let's see how this goes, fellas. Let's see how this goes. Barrier up for Licorice. Ignite up for Darkwings. Both players level 11. Ultimates have come back up. Health packs have spawned. This will be the end one way or the other as the fire closes in. KDA Akali, the original, versus KDA Akali, the new age. Which KDA Akali is going to have the better KDA? Licorice going in, throws out the Shuriken, dashes past, looking to find something there with the perfect execution. Smoke screen thrown down, Hex Drinker proc, Darkwings grabbing a heal, Licorice going in. But look at the healing that Licorice is able to receive. Darkwings wants to outplay it, but Licorice continues to slay it. Ace! For the LCS top laner, the Akali showdown ends with Licorice taking the win and moving on to the semifinals as we say goodbye to Darkwings.